Okay, Austin, Texas, real estate market update, September 2025. Let's go. All right, we're jumping into market data on what's going on right now. Where's the market headed as we finish up this year, the first month of the last quarter? We're in October. Now, I know we're talking about September data, but look, hey, Austin Board of Realtors doesn't give me that data to mid to late month the following month. So we're jumping in the last quarter, the last month of the third quarter to see what's going to happen in the fourth quarter. Where are we going? Should I buy? Should I sell? And we're going to look at the big picture, then zero down to the little picture, and then zoom back out to the big picture to figure out, should we be buying or selling right now? Should I wait until next year? We're going to cover all that and more. Okay, so first things first is we're looking at the Unlock MLS. This is a new feature in the Austin Board of Realtors, as I've been a realtor for a long time now, having sold real estate across 2 different states. Data is important. Numbers tell a story. Numbers don't lie. And so first things first is taking a look at what's been going on in the market. Now, there's a lot of data here, but I'm going to zero in on some of it, so pay attention because this is data comprised of, you can see the map here, from as far as Killeen North to San Marcos, New Braunfels South. And first thing that pops right out is median sales price, $409,000. I'm going to try to highlight it there. I'm having a hard time with it. $409,000. And hey, now that takes into account that whole big old fat area there. Now, Travis County is more central. Williamson County is more north. Now, for Travis County, last month it was $485,000 compared to Williamson County's $409,000. Now, look, there's more counties there because I can see some of you blinking your eyes saying, hey, that doesn't measure up in regards to what the middle might be, median versus average. Add them all up and divide. But we got Hayes County and Bastrop County and all these other counties, but Williamson County and Travis County are the 2 bigger portions of what's going on for value. And Travis County is the central metro area, $485,000 down $40,000 in 1 month. That's a 7% decrease. Williamson County at $406,000 for their median price point. That's down $19,000, down 4%, just 1 month. So is the market crashing? Well, hey, that's why you're here. That's why you're paying attention. For a professional who's boots on ground, hey, if you want a custom report for your own home, email me and I'll send you a personalized custom report. Because while Zillow and Redfin are a great place to look around at values, that algorithm has never been inside your house and understand what it really means to compare apples to apples for the neighborhood. And so, hey, I'll send you a free custom value report on your home. No strings attached. Email me down below. Okay, now let's consider what's going on here. I just said that a 7% decrease in value in Travis County, a 4% decrease in just 1 month in Williamson County. And so here's what's been going on since the new year. Now, I'm going to just take a big macro look at what's going on with the market, and I'll zoom back in here to the micro data. But the biggest chunk of appreciation this year was from January to February. Now, for most of you, you're thinking, well, Paul, isn't March, April, May the busier months of the year? Yes, true. Stereotypically, the months that see the most appreciation, March, April, May, June, July, August, things still happening, but really the bulk of the activity, certainly the bulk of appreciation typically happens. Now, look, that's the catchword, typically, because we haven't seen a typical market in a long time in Central Texas. So the fact that, COVID threw a monkey wrench into things in regards to value and seasonality, and we're still seeing some of that dysfunction right now. January to February, it was the highest months of appreciation, and then the rest of the year we've just been doing this, just kind of little up, little down, and now bang, this depreciation heading into the fall and winter months. Not a great sign. I'm going to come back to that later. Okay, so when we look at the big picture here, back to what's in front of us here is $409,990 is the median sales price for that whole big fat old area that we're looking at for Austin Board of Realtors. Now look, number of sales, 2,890. That's up almost 10% from last year. That's a really healthy number for September numbers, a really healthy number. You can see some of the data here as far as where property values, the most number of homes selling in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. And then we'll get to some interesting numbers on the $1 million price range. Stay tuned towards the end because I'm going to go over the $1 million price range and what's been happening there. Obviously, a lot less home selling. Interestingly enough, as far as days on market and ask to sell price ratios, some super interesting things happening. Okay, so look, almost 3,000 homes sold in September, up 10% from last year. That's a great sign of buyer activity, more buyer confidence. As of today, we're still hanging in the low sixes in regards to interest rate on mortgages. And so a lot of this data is going to give us a clearer picture as far as where the market's going. See this, interestingly enough, average sale 543, median sale 409,000. That's why you got to pay attention to who's boots on ground, who's doing business every month, and can give you a clearer picture, because somebody giving you a market report from California talking about the average price points in Austin, Texas being mid 500s. Well, averages, add them all up and then divide, right? Median is where's the middle. And median's really a more accurate picture as far as value. Big deal when you're paying attention. You should be asking your realtor, especially when you're listing properties, to the difference between median and average. And if they can't give you a quick, fast, confident answer, you might be talking to the wrong person. Okay, median days on market, 58 days on market. For how long does a property take to be able to sell? Now I'm looking down here below at average days on market for Travis and Williamson County, 77 and 74 days. Travis 74, Williamson 74. Travis 77, Williamson 74. Median days here, 58 days on market. So you can see already there that there could be a skew in understanding like what's really going on with Central Texas in regards to market activity, because I see a whole lot of fear mongering on YouTube as far as markets crashing, even Texas markets going bad. And while there can be signs in regards to softening and weakening, we just talked about the median sales price coming down. You got to be careful, because even with that dip in sales price, the median sales prices, I wouldn't say we're all doom and gloom and we're all going to hell in a handbasket here the last quarter. I'll get to that towards the end. Okay, so median days on market, 58 days, median days on market, up just a little bit from last year. So look, almost 60 days, that's almost 2 months, but is that the real number? Okay, let's take a look at that, because when I take a look at price drops, I'm going to come to, here we go. Last month, listings that dropped their price went under contract after a median of 27 days. Okay, so don't look at all this other data right now. Pay attention to 27 days. Okay, what's that mean? That means when you're in the strike zone, you sell. So that 58 days takes into account properties that were overpriced. Here's what we're still seeing. And you've been watching me, you've heard me say this, but pay attention. It shouldn't take 60 to 90 days for a property to sell. There's exceptions. Okay? And I can tell you if you're an exception. But typically, exceptions are exceptions. The standard for what to expect is 30 to 45 days. Now, we're seeing here properties are receiving offers within 27 days of lowering their price, and I'm typically seeing, you can't see this data, but when I'm doing a personalized custom home value report for your property, pretty typically, the properties that are priced right initially sell 30-ish days, give or take a couple of weeks. So 2 to 6 weeks, 4 weeks is about average still. And oh, by the way, the properties that sell faster sell for more money. You don't want to be bruised bananas on the market a long period of time. Nobody shops for bruised bananas. People want to see properties that are priced right and have more features and benefits. And if you don't have a lot of upgrades or updates, you got to be towards the bottom of the pile. Okay, those are the only two types of properties that are selling right now, are properties that have more features and benefits, priced right, or they're priced very low. Okay, and there's a whole mess of other properties still sitting there. I think we talked about the total inventory right now on the market, the total number of homes for sale. Here we go. As of 10/24, there's 16,192. That's actually down a little bit from the prior month, and we've been a little higher in prior months this year. So 16,000. That's, we have 3,000 homes on the market. That's a 5 to 6 month supply. And so, are there a lot of homes on the market in Austin, Texas right now? Yes. There we go. 5.5 month supply right there. Okay. And are a lot of those homes sitting around? Yes. There are a lot of homes sitting around. If only 3,000 sold, then there was 13,000 still sitting on the market. What happened? They don't got their price right. Sellers are being stubborn. Agents aren't being strong, having a good conversation as far as what does it really take to get my home sold, because the secret is sell sooner, sell faster, sell for more. I just sold a $1.4 million property in 39 days, and we had a full, it was close to full list price, right? Very, very close. Can't tell you because it hasn't closed yet, but it's very, very close to list price. And so this stigma or this misnomer, this misled or misinformation around properties taking a long time to sell, even in the $1 million price range, simply is not true. It's just simply not true. There's just a lot of people out there who don't have it right yet, or not willing to get it right. Maybe because they're not motivated, but that's another story. Okay, so there's a lot of buyer demand. We can see 2,890 we see here for properties that sold. And we looked at this. Let's look at price drops. Price drops for 16,000 homes on the market. Active with a price drop. 60% of the homes have been active with a price drop, 9,786. That's a tremendous number of homes that have reduced their price. So over half of the properties have dropped their values. And look at this, average price drop 9%, almost 10% reduction in value in price drops for properties that are on the market. And days until price drop, median 26 days. So there it is right there. People are trying, they're looking to see if their properties are selling. And look, that's actually too long, obviously, because if it would have gotten an offer, it would have happened sooner, and it didn't. So these people are going 26 days and they go, we don't have an offer. What do? We lower the price. Now, look, there's a key performance indicator on data that you can't get online from listing professionals like myself who can see what are the number of showings happening. There's no place to source that data. Only when you have a lot of listings and you do a lot of business do you know, are we getting the right number of showings? Because still, even in this market, even with apprehension around the economy, even with all this disruption politically, all this arguing back and forth politically, the markets are still performing in regards to some form of normality where property should take 30 days to sell. So look, if your property takes 30 days to sell, around 30 days to sell, then you should be getting 2 or 3 showings per week. Now, there's exceptions, and exceptions are the exceptions, and they happen. And if you want to know if you're the exception, then reach out to me and I'll tell you, no strings attached, on what that might look like for your home, because there's 6 different ways for me to bring you an offer. And if you want to hear about them, email me down below and I'll share with you 6 different ways I can bring you an offer. And I'm not talking about a lowball offer. I'm talking about a real bona fide market price offer to put something on the table in just a matter of days or weeks. Okay, so back to the grind here, which is what's going on with the market. Okay, so we looked at price drops, we looked at active homes for sale, we looked at inventory, buyer demand. Okay, so let's look at the $1 million club. What's going on with properties that are priced a lot higher than the median price point? We can start here down below with 1 million to 1.19. We see 77 homes sold in September. And when we click on that, we can see median days on market, 48 days. So look, not a lot of difference for 1 to 1.19. Now 1.2 to 139, 57. Okay, it's nudging upwards, but we're going higher. And so as soon as you get over 1 million, the buyer pool shrinks down. But 57 days still within the confines of reason, not 5-6 months, a year. It should not take you that long to sell a property. Okay, so only 47 homes here sold at 1.2 to 1.39, and then finally 1.4 and above, 113 homes sold, 81 days on the market was the median. And again, that's less than 3 months. So yes, it took longer for over 1.4. 1.4 is around the mark where the buyer pool shrinks even more significantly. And so we see properties there selling at 89% list to close. Let's see, 1.2 to 1.39, 90% list to close, and then finally 91% list to close. Okay, so what's that mean? Properties are coming down from ask price. They tend to be that way for, let's see here. No, it was 89% for 1 to 1.9, and then the market as a whole, 91.72. Okay, now just so you know, we're selling properties over 98% ask to sell price on average. And so what's going to happen in regards to the relationships that you have, the strategy that you have, strategies around marketing and pricing to make sure that you get more money for your property, because at the end of the day, there's still opportunities. Now, should I sell my home right now? Well, look, we are headed into the winter months. We're going to start seeing inventory come down, but look, the homes on the market versus homes that sell still stay somewhat closer in regards to the percentage of homes that sell versus the homes that are available from the summer months to the winter months, because in the winter months, look, there are less buyers, but there's less homes on the market too. Typically, dangerous word in Central Texas. Okay, typically. So paying attention to what's going on with the inventory is important, because look, if people are looking around November, December, and they're looking to buy a property, look, they're looking to sell a property, look, these people really want to sell. And so if people are on the market November, December, then there's something going on. They want to sell their home, typically. Okay, and so there's the opportunity there. Well, there may be less buyers running around. The buyers as well who are looking around are typically going to want to make something happen, and so there may be less finagling on negotiations, right? Less people trying to finagle in negotiations, because look, buyers right now are being a little particular with pulling the trigger faster. They're pulling it slower. Okay, with making full list price offers, they're making lower list price offers. And I would say that properties that are priced right are selling for more. And now the key is that so many don't get it right, which is why we've seen the prices come down, because there's so many homes that are just not priced right, and they have more features and benefits, and they take a little bit longer, and then they lower the price, and then they get less. Okay, or they don't have as many features and benefits, which is a lot of the properties out there. They need upgrading, they need updating, and they're just not priced aggressively, and so they get pulled down further. And so this is a very particular scenario on how for you to get the most money possible. But look, the question was, should I sell my property right now when the market slows down a little bit in regards to activity, but the quality of the buyers might be a little higher. And so do you have to move? Do you need to move? Do you really, 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 really want to move? And so I'd say if you're one of those categories, then you should put your property on the market and get it done. Because look, I don't know what's going to happen. We lost 7% in Travis County. We lost 4% in Williamson County just in 1 month. The market slows down a little bit. However, caveat is, I told you just a little while ago that the January to February last year was the biggest month of appreciation. Now, the rest of this year, the rest of the year has been kind of skidding across the bottom, and we just hit a pothole and went down. So what's certain is there's uncertainty. Like, we just don't know what's going to happen. So if you think you need to sell, or you really, really need to sell, or you really want to sell, be sold. Because waiting until the spring is not going to make you more money. What we've lost this year, because 22 we peaked, we fell 30 to 40% depending on the area that you were in from May to December in 22, and then 23 we did this and we were a little up. 24 we did this and we were a little up. 25 we're doing this and we're a little down. Okay, what's going to happen with tariffs that affect the economy? I don't know. What's going to happen politically that affects what's happening in the United States? I don't know. But I do know that there's a lot of uncertainty and some instability. And certainly with uncertainty, there's fear. And with fear, people hold on to their money. They clutch their pearls. So look, you're probably not going to make up what you've lost or what you're hoping to get right now that you're not getting. So if you can hold on at least 2 I'd say 3 years at this point. I was saying 2 years. I'm saying 3 years because 26 within the industry, it looks like 26 is going to be a little bit more of this, but 27 looks like it potentially could be a good year. So look, you're not going to make things up in a matter of months and hold off and say, I'll just wait until the spring. Let's see what happens. I'm right here to tell you, spring's not going to be much better. Spring's not going to be better. Okay, it's going to be about the same, maybe worse. Okay, so if you need to get sold, be sold and have a conversation with somebody to be able to give you clarity so you can make an informed decision that's best for you. Now, should you buy? Of course you should buy right now. We're still 20 or 30% off from where we were before. And so there's absolute opportunities, especially with new homes who are providing so many incentives for you to go buy right now. I mean, incentive on top of incentive and top of incentive. I have a list of new home builders that are offering incentives. Contact me. I'll send it to you for free so you can see what's going on with the market on new home incentives. Now, for resale homes, look, people who've been on the market, especially more than 45 days, and they're still on the market, well, that's where having a professional to figure out what's going on with this property, what's happening, being able to have a conversation with the other party to see are there opportunities for incentives, for seller buy downs to buy your interest rate down permanently or temporarily. What can I get on closing costs? What does that mean for my ability to get some other incentive that could be a benefit to me? Because if they're on the market right now and that there's an opportunity for you to negotiate, then look, you need to take advantage of that because now is the time to buy. When everybody's looking this way, look that way. What is everybody looking at this way? Uncertainty, I'm not sure, no action. Look, this is the time for action. Now, you can't afford it, and there's some uncertainty and there's some anxiety around the finances, you making your payments or putting money down. Then look, don't do it. Don't put yourself in jeopardy when this could be a risk for you. You're uncomfortable and you have anxiety financially. Don't do it. Okay, I'm not talking to you people. I'm talking to the other people that have some money saved. They're comfortable with the payment range. They just might be thinking, well, what if the property values go down a little bit more? Well, are you flipping the property? Because if you're trying to sell or you're thinking about moving in a year or two, then maybe you shouldn't buy. And I've consulted people against that. Okay, but if you plan on living here at least 5 to 7 years, which is 7 years is the average for people to live in a home, then this is a great buy. Austin still is a fantastic prospect for long-term value based off of there's a lot of money here. There's a lot of money coming here. There's a ton of development happening here. This is not the middle of nowhere someplace, okay? This is Austin, Texas, where a lot of money's coming in. A lot of opportunity is here, and we will see progressive growth. It will get extremely more expensive to live in the state of Texas, specifically in the state of Austin, Texas, in the city of Austin, Texas. So look, a conversation is always the first best step to figure out, like, look, what should I do? Should I wait? Should I do something right now? How much is my home really worth? What kind of incentives are really out there? Hey, your vision is my mission. Vision Realty Group. Stay tuned.